Hi, outside the Songbird Coffee and Tea House. This is Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb. APS finally released their campaign spending from a couple elections ago. People have talked about a lot of things to be done to counter their spending. You have what I'll dare say is a fairly radical proposal to solve this issue.
Radical? Me?
The radical, always throwing out the bombs.
What most people are suggesting is that APS in some way be limited to what it can spend politically. I think there are serious legal problems with that.
Yeah, and you go through in the column about, the issue of shareholder money versus utility ratepayer money, Citizens United, and the First Amendment right. So if we can't stop them from spending, what do we do to stop their political influence?
I have long thought that we ought to have an appointed corporation commission, not an elected one. There's nothing about the job that involves political judgment. And there's a lot of wrong direction that occurs at the commission because we elect politicians rather than subject matter experts. So that has been on the ballot twice and been rejected by the voters. But given the circus we've had recently with electing commissioners, what APS has now confessed to doing, what other people with large interest before the commission, like the rooftop solar industry, have spent, that maybe the public would be willing to say, okay, we've had enough. Let's turn this into the technocratic regulatory body it should be.
Yeah, Arizona elects a lot of jobs that other states don't, other entities don't. We have a treasurer and a recorder and assessor on the ballot, a sheriff on the ballot. Do you think the public would what would be the argument, to say to the public, we think that a governor's bureaucrat or the governor's, whoever's in the governor's chair, could appoint bureaucrats, that the governor could do a better job of picking people than you could as voters?
The last three elections, I think, provide plenty of evidence, and I would have strong qualifications required for the job, that you'd have to be a subject matter expert with experience in the field of finance or accounting or regulatory law. We actually, when Bruce Babbitt was governor, had a majority appointed commission, and Babbitt, unlike Ducey, appointed technical subject matter experts. It was the calmest, best period of utility regulation we've ever experienced. It's a tough hurdle to get voters to give up their direct say. But I think you could say we're going to substitute politicians. 4 of the 5 current commissioners are former state legislators. And we instead are going to ask experts to oversee the utilities and at least make the politics associated with that a step apart and diluted by all the other interests that a governor would have and subject to confirmation.
Right, and the qualifications kind of keep it from being just a political appointee, political favor job. It's a long road if we were going to do this, but if it does happen, you can say it. You saw it start here.